Whether you operate one forklift or thousands, one location or hundreds, the new My Toyota customer portal can help you optimize your operation and material handling equipment. This one-stop, free-to-use platform is designed to help you take control of your information and make smarter decisions, all at the touch of a button. Register and access your data today at my.toyotaforklift.com. That's my.toyotaforklift.com. Hello, and thank you for being a listener. Before we get into the episode, I wanted to let you know about a special offer being given to the new warehouse listener. That's you. Mobile Robot Guide is offering 10% off just for you when you purchase the Warehouse Solutions Buyer's Guide. Just use promo code WarehousePod10 at mobilerobotguide.com. That's WarehousePod10. This is your comprehensive guide for all things autonomous mobile robots. That's WarehousePod10. And for more info, go to thenewwarehouse.com.
The New Warehouse Podcast, hosted by Kevin Lawton, is your source for insights and ideas from the distribution, transportation, and logistics industry. A new episode every Monday morning brings you the latest from industry experts and thought leaders. And now, here's Kevin.
Hi, it's Kevin Lawton with the New Warehouse Podcast, bringing you a new episode. On today's show, we're going to talk to Tim Wittig. He is the General Manager of Motive Power Specialty at Enersys, and you guys are definitely familiar with Enersys. We talked to them multiple times, most excitedly talking to them about their wireless charging setup and what's to come with that. Most recently talking to them at Modex and actually getting a chance to see a little demo of that. But we're going to talk to Tim today. We're going to talk to him a little bit about what is the Motive Power branch of Enersys, and then we're going to talk to him about, obviously, what's been going on with the pandemic in terms of how Enersys has been dealing with it, what it's meant for them, and also some contactless solutions for batteries and how people can go about getting those, and also how can they help your operation as well. So, Tim, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you, Kevin.
Yes, yeah. Thanks for coming on. Always enjoy talking to Enersys and hearing about what you guys are doing and what the latest is. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what your role is at Enersys and also kind of about the Motive Power branch there at Enersys?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. So, I think in order to kind of explain my position, it helps to get a little perspective on maybe a little bit more of the company as a whole. So, so I work for the Motive Power side of our company, but I want to tell you about, some of the other divisions too. So Reserve Power batteries, for us, we sell many batteries into data centers and industrial uninterrupted power supplies, communications networks. The transportation side of our business has been very strong. And of course, we have aerospace and defense battery solutions that we sell, and then medical devices as well. So that gives you a little perspective on what Reserve Power is all about. Okay. I'm the general manager for our Motive Power specialty areas. And most people that listen to your podcast would be familiar with our forklift battery solutions.
Right.
And certainly my team supports many of the forklift applications. But the specialty areas of Motive Power for Enersys cover a couple other markets, ground support equipment and airline equipment, as well as mining, rail battery solutions, floor care equipment, burden carrier and personnel carriers, as well as AGV solutions, and then rounding it out against Motive Power material handling solutions.
Got it. So you guys cover almost every industry pretty much, right? You got batteries all over the place.
Yeah, we really do. And like I said, as the general manager for the Motive Power specialty area, it takes me in many different directions. I think everybody knows that the core of our business has been material handling for a long time. And I certainly have a couple individuals that work under me that are subject matter experts for some of our advanced battery solutions, like the Nexus Pure Lead, as well as the Nexus Ion battery that's coming out. So we provide support for our 100 or so sales folks across North and South America.
Definitely, yeah. And I have to say, I do see your Enersys trucks as well driving around, I guess, for servicing purposes, I guess that is, right?
Yeah, we've got, about 350 field service folks and service support people that keep battery and charger solutions running at our Motive Power customers. So we've got quite a few people on the streets. We've got around 75 service centers to support the business as well.
Nice. So talk to us a little bit about, what's been going on in, I guess everybody's life is this COVID pandemic, right? So how has things been? I guess how has business been for you guys for Enersys, and how have you guys been kind of handling it?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. So in the material handling world, we kind of had a bookend as the pandemic was starting. I remember getting ready to go to Modex, and hearing that some of my colleagues were canceling trips, whether it was in the United States or from other countries. And at the time, with 6 or 7 months of hindsight, you understand it now, but you couldn't understand why people were canceling. And then we kind of got to the show and saw that attendance was a little bit thin. I came home on the Wednesday of the week of Modex. And, that night I got home was when President Trump was announcing that he was shutting down travel from Europe. And that really started to hit me. And, in my position, I travel quite a bit. And, I was scheduled to fly out the very next Monday. And, I have been at my home office ever since then. So, trips have been canceled, and we've been doing a kind of a work from home type situation. Our corporate folks have been working from home, but we've been doing a really good job of supporting our internal customers as well as our external, dealers and customer base. Motive Power sales have been strong as the pandemic was kind of kicking in. Everybody was rushing to go buy toilet paper and medical supplies and sanitizers and cleaning supplies. And obviously the material handling world had to support that business. And, the fork trucks were moving products, but it was the batteries that were moving the fork trucks. And so, we had, a pretty strong March and April before things started to flatten out. Again, on the other side of our business, the reserve power side of our business, as people started to work from home, the need for battery support at data centers and for energy storage systems and the trucking business never slowed down either. So, it was the business has been fairly strong for us overall at Enersys.
That's good. That's good. These guys remain strong, and I'm not surprised, seeing how just supply chain in general, I guess, became such a hot topic and came to the forefront and really needed to kind of bolster up to support the increased demand of in-home delivery and products and things of that nature. So it's interesting to see, how that contrasts from other industries as well. And I do remember at Modex, it was a little crazy because we were even kind of like, should we go? Are we going? And then we went, and then just like you, I actually went from Modex to a conference to speak in Indiana on Thursday night. And when I was in the airport getting ready to catch my flight, it came on the news that like Atlanta was closing down all the schools. And I was kind of like, oh, this is kind of like really happening. This is real. It was a little crazy. So, but here we are now. So I'm curious, what type of, so you said you've been in work from home mode, and then obviously, I've been seeing the Enersys trucks as well, like we talked about before, driving around in my area, around distribution centers and things of that nature. So what kind of, I guess, solutions has Enersys already had in place, but that have maybe been amplified, or what type of new solutions have been put in place that are kind of the idea of contactless and, making it easier for people to, I guess, navigate the new normal that COVID has brought on?
We'll be back after a quick break. You hear a lot about supply chains these days, because if the past couple years have taught us anything, it's that an efficient, well-managed supply chain is absolutely critical to keeping businesses successful and consumers happy. I'm Will Haywood, and I host a podcast called All Business, No Boundaries, where we talk about supply chains, how they work, what happens when they don't, and the innovations that are redefining what's possible in the world of logistics. Join me for insightful interviews with thought leaders and industry experts. We discuss how optimizing supply chains can break down the barriers that are holding businesses back. That's All Business, No Boundaries by DHL Supply Chain. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, when I hear the term contactless, I think about the maintenance that typically takes place around a typical battery system. Maybe a flooded battery. There's hands that need to touch that battery on a regular basis for watering purposes or extra equalization and making sure that the battery is functioning properly. As you mentioned, contactless solutions. I certainly think about our Nexus Pure Lead battery. TPPL and the notion of a sealed battery has been in service at Enersys since the late 1970s, when the military really needed to have a strong, robust battery solution for their military applications. It was actually about 10 years ago that we modified the chemistry of our thin plate pure lead batteries a little bit, and we developed a specific charge solution to bring that technology over to the motive power side of our business. And it's the pure lead battery that's really driving our businesses of late. It's probably about 30% of our sales today, because customers they don't want to touch batteries. They don't want to maintain batteries. They don't need to water batteries.
Right.
And so that's a great solution. At Enersys, we've continued to drive that TPPL battery chemistry. We've actually introduced our next generation of Nexus Pure Lead battery. And what we've done is we've added a little bit of carbon to the negative plate of the battery, and what that's allowing us to do is to offer higher cycles at shallower depths of discharge. So again, we're taking hands off of the battery by taking maintenance out of the customer's hands. We're about to introduce our Nexus Ion battery. Again, an opportunity charge battery with no watering. Our wireless capabilities, we're still working on inductive charging. You might have saw recently we partnered up with a company called Blink to help us continue to develop that. Obviously, the last time the material handling industry was together, we had that on display at Modex, and we continue to drive that. And then I think one of the kind of the coolest things that we're working on and is actually available today is what we call eConnect. And it's an app, and so as we try to get customers to have contactless interaction with their batteries, the eConnect app for us will allow a maintenance person at a warehouse. He can download the app and he can go over to one of our chargers or one of our YIQ devices, and he'd be able to download information out of it at his site. And he can push the information back to one of our folks, one of our field service techs or a product support rep, and those folks could analyze the data from afar, and start to take a look at if there's something wrong with the battery. If the battery's not getting watered properly, they can advise customers how to better water their batteries, or if there's a problem with the battery. Our field service technicians could be dispatched with, say, like a new battery cell and show up on site. It's really helping two things. It's avoiding an extra trip charge for the customers, but at the same time, it's keeping people out of their buildings and keeping up social distancing. So it's a pretty nice piece of technology that we have for our customers.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like the app. I was not actually aware of that. So it's pretty interesting, and I like the fact that it kind of reduces, like you said, the amount of trips, because even so, I think from an efficiency standpoint on both sides of the table for you guys and also for the company that has the batteries. I mean, reducing the number of trips is kind of a good thing overall. And you mentioned the wireless charging. I'm really excited about that. I'm a big fan of that, actually. Really, really like that. So I'm curious, with a lot of the companies that I've kind of been talking to throughout the pandemic, there's kind of been this trend of their technology and things that they had planned maybe for a couple of years out got accelerated a bit because they needed to pivot a little bit and figure out how to get the technology in place, because it was actually helpful in the sense of creating this contactless and social distancing. So I'm curious if the pandemic has given Enersys a chance to accelerate their technology a little bit at all. Like, is there any quicker push to get wireless charging rolled out or anything of that nature?
On the wireless charging, I don't think that we've I'd say lost any ground on scheduling, but we're kind of status quo on bringing it to market. We realize that in talking to customers and OEMs and dealers alike, that they're excited to have the technology come out. Yeah. We're focused right now on getting our Nexus Ion battery to market, and I'm pretty excited. Last week, I took a road trip to Detroit to visit a customer that is utilizing our first Nexus Ion battery in their facilities. It's a tier 1 automotive supplier that it's a pretty demanding application. And after as of today, it's been in the customer for a week, and we haven't seen any issues or problems as we've rolled this technology out. So, we've been pretty well focused on the Nexus Ion battery at this point.
Okay.
One of the other things that we've accelerated is taking a look at a new manufacturing line that we're putting in our Springfield, Missouri plant for thin plate pure lead batteries. And that's our high-speed block line. And that's going to allow us, as it goes into service, will allow us to generate batteries much quicker. But the flip side of that is that we've also taken a look at our capacity sizes and the size of a gas tank, if you will, in these block sizes. And we're going to start to introduce larger capacity batteries for material handling applications as well as other applications. And we'll be able to offer the customer a larger gas tank, a larger energy supply, and at the same time allow them to recharge pretty quickly on a thin plate pure lead battery. As we take a look at beyond that, our next generation of Nexus products starts to incorporate battery management systems, contactors, and CAN communication to communicate directly to the fork trucks. And so that'll allow us to provide a customer with a better experience with our batteries. It'll promote opportunity charging. It won't damage the batteries because they'll never over discharge the batteries. And so actually, as of next week, we've got some prototypes starting to go into a customer. So even though our corporate offices have been shut down, our folks have gotten into the lab, and our engineers continue to drive some of the innovation forward. So it hasn't slowed us down, I would say.
Okay, that's great to hear, because I guess I think in the beginning a lot of people were kind of worried about what's going to happen. Is it going to slow things down and things. So it's good to hear that technology is still advancing and maybe going a little faster, because people are more grounded and more focused, maybe because they can't really do any extracurricular activities or things of that nature. But definitely really excited to see what happens with the Nexus Ion and all the other technologies that you mentioned. And it's good that it's been in place for a week now, so it's kind of fresh and good to hear that no problem. So I think it'll be really a good step forward, with the maintenance-free kind of setup and kind of the way of the future a bit. I'm sure you guys are imagining. We're
really excited. We're really excited to bring these solutions to the customers, and we've been talking about them for a while, and to actually see the product in action last week was refreshing. So we're looking forward to getting into production on these things in the next couple of months and starting to deliver some solutions to the customers finally.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious actually what has been, I guess in the first week, maybe it's a little too soon, but what has the reaction been of like the operators who are utilizing the new technology?
It's kind of interesting. For me, I've been in the industry for about 16 years now, so I've seen I've seen the operators move from a situation where they're using a flooded lead acid battery and lots of maintenance and watering and equalization and then battery changes and all the safety that revolves around like a traditional battery situation in a high demand application. And so over the years, we moved from that into fast charging of flooded batteries and now fast charging of maintenance-free batteries. And so, in my opinion, over the years of Enersys driving zero battery change solutions to the customers, I think if you couple that today with like cell phone technology and all the personal devices that we have, we're kind of opportunity charging now. And so it's not, changing that messaging is not necessarily difficult, but it's just making sure that we work with the customer as we install product into a customer and do some follow-up calls and make sure it's being operated properly and utilizing our data devices that kind of see what they're doing when we're not there. And making sure that they continue to utilize products properly.
Nice. Yeah, and I like the comparison to the wireless devices that we all use now, and how this those are kind of opportunity charge. I think when I had spoken to Harold from Enersys as well on a previous episode, we were talking about wireless charging. I think he kind of said something along the lines of, we're wirelessly charging our cell phone, so why can't we wirelessly charge something else that has a battery, right? So I think it's really interesting how you guys are kind of drawing on the technology that we're so familiar with on a personal perspective, right, that we're using every day, and why can't we apply it to something on the battery level, on just a bigger battery, right? So really, really cool stuff.
It really is cool stuff, Kevin, and to be able to kind of upscale this, and like you mentioned before, we're excited to bring it to market, and I think that in the next couple of years you'll start to see us have that product available. We've got some prototypes that we've started to run over in Europe. We'll do some prototyping over here in the next couple of months actually too. So we're actively working on it.
Nice. I can't wait. Can't wait to it's like just the normal. I think it'll be really, really cool, and really great for operations as well. So I'm curious, what has been, if any, do you think there has been a long-term impact on, I guess, the motive power industry and just the battery industry in general due to the pandemic? Do you see anything that's kind of come about that you think is going to stick with us and stay for the long run?
Yeah, I think one of the growth areas in material handling is automated guided vehicles. I've got a couple individuals that work for me that call on that marketplace today. And I can remember, 4 and 5 years ago, as we were working with, the 3 or 4 key players in the AGV world. That's really what there were. There was just a handful at the time. And now there's probably 30 to 40 of them, and the large material handling OEMs are starting to get involved and integrate AGV systems onto their vehicles. And for us, for a battery solution for a customer for automated guided vehicles, it requires an application specific approach. And we're typically involved with the customer kind of at the inception of the product. We want to understand, how that AGV is going to work and function in a warehouse or a manufacturing facility, and we can use our data tools and work with the engineers at the OEM level of the AGV companies to understand how that's going to be used and the amp draw and the voltages and the time in use, and then we can apply the right solution to the application. So I think, moving forward, automated vehicles, we'll start to, have better proliferation. We're part of the MHI group, the materials group, and they estimate about a 9% compounded annual growth rate on AGV. equipment over the years. So, it's something that as people take their hands off of the material handling operations and move from forklift operation to AGV operations, same thing applies to batteries, and that's why we think our Nexus solutions are a great match to AGVs. People don't want to have to maintain those batteries; they just want the vehicles to run and opportunity charge and keep moving product around. So, I think that's probably going to be a long term effect, and I certainly see that in other industries as well. Ground support equipment, those folks are asking for new solutions, floor care. They're into the automated vehicles now. You shouldn't be surprised when you walk into large retailers and you see a floor scrubber go by with nobody on it, and it's cleaning the store floors by itself. So I think that's probably going to be certainly one of the long-term benefits of the pandemic.
Yeah, I think so too. And talking to some of those AGV companies as well over the pandemic, it seems that people are, I guess, realizing that it's the way of the future, and the future is kind of now, and that's is the one of the ways to not only reduce the amount of people in a concentrated area for safety purposes now, but also a way to deal with the labor shortages too that we've been experiencing as well. So I think it's really interesting, and I like that you guys are, kind of working with these companies as well and providing a solution that's going to help it to be like a total package for the end user. So really, really good stuff. Tim, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. How can people find out more information about Enersys?
We've got a great new website that we just rolled out actually about a month ago. It's Enersys.com. And if you go to the Enersys.com website, you'd go to the logistics section of the website, and you'd be able to see all the material handling offerings that we have there.
Okay, awesome. And we'll put that link at thenewwarehouse.com as well. And we'll also link to some previous episodes with Enersys as well to give you a little more background on some other things too. Tim, thank you so much for joining us today, and hope you continue to stay safe through all this.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kevin. Appreciate your time.
You've been listening to the New Warehouse Podcast with Kevin Lawton. Subscribe and check us out online at thenewwarehouse.com.
Thank you for listening to this episode. If you want more content from the New Warehouse, check out our new video series called All Hands on LinkedIn. Just search for the New Warehouse on LinkedIn and follow along.